Next up, at UFC Vegas 64, we got Jake Hadley, who was a very highly touted prospect. I'm surprised they threw him this early on the card, honestly. But we got Jake Hadley taking on Carlos Candelario. Jake Hadley, 8-1 overall, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off the grappling heavy loss to Alan Nascimento. Carlos Candelario, 8-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off 2 losses in a row. This is another interesting fight. I do think Jake Hadley wins this fight. I think these odds are correct with what we have seen today from Carlos Candelario. But that dude, before his 4-year layoff, was a dog. He was gritty. He was tough. He would work you to the ground. And just ever since that 4-year layoff, he had 4 years off because of some injuries, just some life stuff. He just hasn't been the same. He's coming off that loss to Taira Tatsuro, where, he didn't look good. He didn't look awful. And we just saw how good Taira actually is. So maybe you can take something from that loss. But, typically speaking, Carlos has some good boxing. He's got some good jiu-jitsu, and he wants to get you to the ground, set it up with the boxing. Jake Hadley's got very solid boxing with good timing, decent takedowns, aggressive BJJ. He's very well-rounded and had a bunch of, regional titles before making it to the UFC. I think Jake Hadley wins this fight. I think these odds are appropriate. I think, unfortunately for Carlos, he's a Northeast guy. I'm a Northeast guy. I just think that 4-year layoff, it just took something out of him, and I just don't know if he's going to be able to compete at this level. Since then, what do you think, Jacob?
I'm a big Carlos guy. As you mentioned, he is one of those hard-nosed, tough dudes, just a relentless wrestler type guy. And he's kind of been fed to the wolves. I mean, he's the only person, I think, to lose the Contender Series fight and still get a contract. It was a split decision. He showed how tough he was. They gave him a contract and a loss, and then they fed him Tatsuro. And he survived that, and a lot of people aren't going to survive a fight with Tatsuro. And now they're giving him Jake Hadley. I feel bad for the guy because he was against a guy that can out-grapple him, and now he's against a guy that's definitely the better striker in Jake Hadley and can kind of scramble out of position. So Jake was held to the ground in his last fight, but you could see he knew what he was doing, right? He was still working scrambles, working submissions off his back, throwing up triangles. And against Carlos, I don't think Carlos is going to have the same control in this fight. And if it goes to the ground, I think Jake's going to be able to scramble either back to his feet or to a top position because he's also very, very good in the jiu-jitsu as well, not so much in the wrestling. This needs to be a Cody Durden fight. I mean, Carlos needs a Cody Durden fight, get an early takedown and just lay. I mean, that's pretty much all Cody Durden. I mean, just lay and lay and lay and don't let him move because that dude is going to try and squirm back to his feet. Can he do that? I think there's an outside chance, right? I think we both saw that Cody Durden had that path. Cody was a little bit more alive, and he ended up working that game plan. Carlos, I don't think is going to be able to implement that full wrestle control type game plan. And Jake is a menace on the feet. He's got the speed advantage and the power advantage. I'm a big Jake fan in this matchup. I love Carlos. It feels bad picking against him. I think I picked him against Tatsuro in that matchup, but I got to go Jake all the way. And the odds are getting even more wide. I mean, he's like a minus 250 now. I imagine he might even be minus 300 by the time the fight starts. But this is a confident play, especially because Carlos isn't real dangerous in his own right either. So I like Jake in this matchup.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, you're talking about Cody Durden laying. That dude can definitely lay. Have you seen his wife? Have you seen pictures of that man's wife?
Cody Durden's?
Yeah, he can lay. I know you're looking right now. I'm going to need to see your hands at all times. He can lay. That doesn't happen by accident. Anyway, we're on the same page here. Carlos Candelario, if he just grapples first, heavy, come forward, diving at legs, doing anything possible to get it to the ground, he can Alan Nascimento his way to a win. I don't think he can do that. He does average a good amount of takedowns. He's had some success. I just don't think he's going to be able to get that. I saw it on Twitter, if that's where you're...
I'm on his Instagram.
Yeah, you find it yet?
I mean...
Okay, relax. Jeez. Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. I'm being nice. Anyway, we're both on the same side here. I will say, though, I think $9,200 is probably a little much. I do think Jake Hadley wins, but there is a clear path for Carlos. I don't know if he's going to push that path, but there is a clear path there. So the $9,200 does worry me a bit because you're going to need a stoppage to make that worth it. Carlos is not a guy you're just going to put out. Did I just derail you? Like, is this a rabbit hole?
Well, you told me to check it out, so I'm doing my deep dive research.
This is the research. I mean, can I get an opinion on that? Exactly. That's exactly what I was worried about. Just pan the camera up. Jacob's that guy from CNN. You know that guy from CNN that got fired because he thought his camera was off? Yeah, there it is. Just let him finish. It's like a dog. Just let him finish. Okay. You done? Come back, all smiles, relax, ready to go. I compared you to that guy from CNN that got canned because he just started going at himself with the Zoom camera on in the middle of a company meeting. And then he got his job. Yeah, and then he got his job back. They suspended him. And like 6 weeks later, he's just at work again. I could never look at those people again.
That would be
How
weird.
could you?
The only thing I remember is when, I think it was the Alabama National Championship game when they zoomed in on somebody's girlfriend, and what's his name? The old dude was like, "Oh, look at her," and just started like going like a 30-second like, "Oh, like relax, old man."
I mean, people get creepier as they get older, that's for sure. Anyway, we're both on the Jake Hadley side. I mentioned, while I think he wins, $9,200 might be a little rich for my DraftKings blood. What do you think?
What did you say? 92? No, I like it. Because Carlos isn't super dangerous, and he can get reversals. If he gets taken down, reversals are 5 points, and he should be able to dominate the striking as well. And he's very dangerous in the jiu-jitsu as well. He's been doing jiu-jitsu his whole life, so...
The only thing that worries me about it is Carlos is so tough. I don't see Jake necessarily stopping him. So you're gonna need the takedowns and the control time for that to be worth it. That's the only thing that worries me there. But anyway,
sometimes you can score more points when somebody is tough, right? With more
if you're getting the takedowns.
More...
Yes. Well, shit. What's his name?
Well, shit.
That skinny dork being kind of tough
Jacob.
Ended up scoring 1,000,000 points for Steve Garcia. He just kept standing up after getting dropped, and that was 10 points every time. What a
Chase Hooper?
Yeah, absolute dweeb that guy is. And it's so annoying. Because you don't even need... Knowing about this sport is why we all got that pick wrong. Because anybody in the world could just see pictures and be like, no, that guy loses. And that's it. And he lost exactly how if you looked at him... You'd be like, yeah, that's the guy.
I don't know if you heard my rant Saturday, but I said, listen, damn it, Chase, you need to implement. Listen, you're Ryan Hall. I get it. You tried to strike, doesn't fucking work, man. You got to implement the Ryan Hall game plan, and that is distance. The second they get into your COVID zone, that 6-foot zone, you got to roll. You just got to start rolling so they can't punch you in the face. That is the only way to survive with those abilities from now on. Right?
It was an absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, we're not talking about that fight. We're talking about this fight. Next time, if a dude's built like a 12-year-old, maybe don't put some money on him to win a fist fight against a grown man.
Oh, we do have chest hair.
We?
Jake's got chest hair. That's the chest hair jinx. Joseph Holmes came in with the mustache and the chest hair, so there was no fucking chance he was winning that fight.
Double jinxed. Anyway, monkey knife fight, strike line 51-48. I think that hits. I think we have a more here. Both of these guys are tough. They're going to go at it. They're going to swing away. We're going to have grappling. We're going to have striking. I love that strike line. We on picks.com/MKF. Play the more. I'm very confident that will hit, and they'll instantly match your deposit. So take the free money, turn it into some earned money.
Like the stream too, by the way. Jesus. That's all we ask.
Well,
that's all I ask.
We ask for a lot. While we're asking for things, if you guys want to become a premium member at WeWantPicks.com, that'd be helpful as well.